What is up, guys? It's been a minute since I've done one of these videos, and today's video is quite simply going to be a comparison between the Generation 6 Toyota Diecast and the Generation 7, aka Next Gen Diecast. So, with that being said, I just want to say thank you for joining me here, checking out the video, and let's get it done, shall we? I do apologize if I'm breathing a little heavy. I think I'm starting to get a little sick, but it is what it is, unfortunately, when you're sick. So looking at the sides here, obviously you're going to get the pretty obvious difference. The side skirt in the Gen 7, completely different. You look at the front fascia, very, 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 very similar, from probably about here, just below the A-pillar, forward. Now, looking in the rear, from the C-pillar, which is this, down and back, the Gen 7's going to have a little more detail, actually. So, coming back, you've got a little, you can see the little character line here, as well as a little more character here, little character here, and obviously the 18-inch wheels, a little more sleeked back roof line, and then a little thinner B-pillar there. Now, I don't know if that's exact on the cars or exactly how that works. I've never been that close to them to actually pay attention to that, even though I have to work at the garage area with the media. But now, front fascia wise, very different grille openings. Down here, you're allowed to put tape on. Gen 7, you're not. You can see the hood. You got the louvers. Everything's a little different here versus nothing on the Gen 6 car. Overall, really no difference except for the splitter difference here. Now, coming to the rear, you're going to get a pretty tremendous difference on the Camrys. Much more, let me see if I can move the camera here. Much more rounded rear bumper with the Gen 7s. Oops, there we go. Much more rounded rear bumper with the Gen 7 versus the flatter Gen 6. A little more detail into the bumper where you'd typically put your license plate. And then, of course, you've got the rear diffuser out back. But otherwise, the Camry is by far the Gen 6, Gen 7 car that has the least difference. You can see a little more detail in my video on the Mustang comparisons, but under the hood, let me pop this open. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. Under the hood is pretty substantially different. But, so, Gen 7 under the hood, you've got your scoops, air inlets. You really can't see the engine all too terribly well. Whereas the Gen 6 cars, pretty open, everything's right there. Not a lot of under the hood aerodynamics difference like you see on the Gen 7. Now you go up underneath the cars, you again have another pretty substantial difference. You got a whole lot of nothing. You can see the aero pan. Gen 6, everything is pretty much out in the open. Trans, drive shaft, exhaust, a little bit of the chassis, but you've got nothing of the sort here on the Gen 7. Interior-wise, very difficult to see, but a little more, a little less detail in there, actually. In the front, and then the rears, some air intakes, You can kind of see some air intakes in here. The air exits to allow air to flow through the car. And then here, you've got your adjustments. And so it's a pretty substantial difference. But like I said, the Camry overall, a lot less changes than you see on, for example, the Mustangs. Well, quick little video. Those are the big differences on the Generation 6 and Generation 7 Toyota Camry TRD Cup Car diecasts.